Hello, friends. Once again, it's your friend Home for Roses, and today is the Sunday, the 12th of October. All right, we are taking a look at British Pound USD for the week, as we always do. So, I actually trust that your last week trading was awesome. Mine was great, and I thank God for that. So, today again, let's take a look at what we are looking at for the week. I always said if you buy in the market or you sell in the market, that you were right. But the only thing you should do is to make sure that you are selling at the right places and then you are buying at the right zones. And then in my analysis, I always mapped out the areas I'm looking at for a sell and the areas I'm looking at for buys. And I don't just buy when price gets to that area, as you can see in the previous video that I made. It's a last week Monday. One of the areas I mapped out for a sell price got to the area and all that I required to sell took place. Then I took a trade, but it went in loss. But then I was able to mitigate it and get it back within Tuesday and that of Friday. So that's it. So if we look at the monthly time frame, so you should always be careful where you're selling and where you're buying. But you're right, depending on the kind of trader you are, just look at the zones where you're buying and where you're selling and follow all the protocols you've already mapped out for yourself. That's just it. All right, so let's go straight to the business. This is the monthly time frame. Looking at the chart, I will ask you to keep it simple. Where is it likely that the price will be going to? Is it likely to go up? Is it likely to go down? That actually helps you to set your bias for the period. So for me, the monthly actually is looking likely to go down, but that's the monthly. So majority of us don't trade on the monthly, but it helps us and give us a direction and bias. So if we drop to the weekly, you ask yourself the same question. So this is me on the weekly, where is price likely to go to? Actually looking at the price and following all the protocols, I believe is more likely to go down. But price doesn't go just one way. It has to react up and then before going down. So what are my bias for the week? I'm not here to tell you to buy or to sell, but I'm here to guide you and help you on the areas aspect of where to look at for a sell or the areas to look at for buying. So to me, if I take a look at this, more of a sell, but then the price is on two-way fold. It buys, it sells, and the weekly, this particular weeks, the buying will give you profit, the selling will give you profit. But these areas are my draw on liquidity. Does not mean it will happen in a particular day or 1 week, and does not mean it might not happen. So it has the possibility to get there in a day or in a week. It also has the possibility to consolidate or go up before coming down. But these are the major area on the monthly draw on liquidity for me, on the monthly, on the daily, and then the monthly. So which area am I looking at? I could take this particular week, I'm looking at taking a trade, either buy or sell, depending on what the price says between Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But these are the areas I'm looking at for draw on liquidity. So mostly the sell side is much profitable to me compared to the buying side. But that's me. So if we drop to the daily time frame, these are the daily. I've already mapped out, sorry, I've always mapped out my areas I'm looking at because I don't want to make the video so long. So if you look at the daily time frame, where are the price likely to go to? As at Friday, we can see that the price reacted to this one. That was a gap, a volume that should be on the month, on the weekly. Here's it. That was what gave me my entry on Friday to take a trade, and I exit the trade using 4H, which is, yeah, I knew that the price would get to this particular candle, and that was exactly what I did. So if we drop to the daily time frame, like we said, price reacted to this area, which makes it wonderful. So what am I looking at this week? Like I said, I'm looking at more price getting to this zone and paraventure getting to this zone. But then on the upside, where am I looking at price getting to? I'm looking at price getting to this zone, price getting to this zone, or paraventure getting to this zone for me, or dip more into this. But these are the area. When price get to these areas, what will I do? I'll drop into the lower time frame to give me an entry procedure or style, the right trade. So if we drop on a lower time frame, this is the 4H. So what am I looking at price to do between these lines? Are the daily lines I map out to help me in my procedure. I can as well hide them. so I can hide the drawings and it will be a plain chart. But most times I put them there in my analysis, so it will be a guide for a quick one if I'm not in a place whereby I can look at the trade perfectly well. So it gives me, that's why I say you don't have any excuse. It gives me a quick look at the price to know exactly what I'm looking for. So I leave it there on my phone during the time, the working days. So this is it. Sorry for the tube taking too many times. So price already dropped into this zone and then pull up here, reacted at this zone area. What am I looking at this week? Like I said, the Sunday opening and the Monday will give me a more clearer vision on where to take trade for the week. But then this area price might likely come down to this area, up to this zone, then kind of go up our provincial here, but these areas I'm looking at for a sell, like I said, all these areas I'm looking at for a sell. This area below I'm looking at for a buy opportunity. This area, this area, this area. If price get to this area, that means that the sell has already taken place, and then we have to get a reaction here before the buy comes up. If price goes up before coming down, then that means I'm going to be looking at these key areas for my sell to take place. So, and then dropping on a lower time frame, which is the one hedge, which makes it even more clearer and better. Already prices are reacted at this place and broke out structure. So I'm expecting price to drop a little bit before going up. But if it doesn't want to, it can also go up and react to these zones. Then I will look at between the Monday and then the Tuesday and the Wednesday for an opportunity to join the trade. This is it for me for this week, and thank you always for stopping by. Together we can be a better and a much trader, and I encourage you, don't give up. One of these days you'll be proud that you never gave up on this. Keep studying, keep looking at the chart. It will give you the opportunity to know more about it. Once again, is your friend Home for Races. Let's see how the day works out. If I have opportunity within the working days, I will also drop the procedure or where I took my trade. And at the end of the week, I will do a review of how the market went. Thank you and have a lovely evening and the rest of your week. Stay blessed. Bye.